Hey everybody, and this is Mr. Debate here, coming to you with a new video on NFT Handshake. Today we just launched trade bidding, which I'm really excited about. It really allows you to bid on very specific ranges, profit way more. I've done a lot of testing on this so far, and it's been really great. I'm sure all our members are going to love it. And today I'm really going to break down how to use it, how to set it up inside of NFT Handshake, but also how to do the research required to profit. I believe this is the most important part. And I think the system and framework we use now is really going to allow you to make great profits on it. So let's dive straight into it. I'm on the website right now, NFT Handshake on the server, and I've just scraped a few collections. And I just want to show you really quickly how easy trade bidding is. You literally just go to the bidding module, and you're just going to go straight down to, well, you're going to add a new bid, and you can put any collection in here that have trades. You just need to scrape it first to make sure the trades are enabled. You're going to do your wallet and all that stuff later, but you can see we have bid by rarity, by token, and by trade. So this is the new thing right here. And if I've selected a collection, which I have right now, you can literally just go in and pick any trade you want to bid on. And it's so easy to just click, and then you're gonna put in your data and everything. Super easy, really excited about it. And let's dive in on how to find trades to bid on. So the first thing you want to do is navigate over to Trade Sniper. This is my favorite tool for the data. It's pretty good. I mean, it's close to being perfect. It's not 100%, but it's good enough for what we're doing here. And I've done a lot of great flips with it so far. So yeah, it's really great. We do plan to integrate all of this data within NFT Handshake. So there's going to be a new module called Analytics, and you're going to see a lot of the data that I wish was in Trade Sniper. Stuff like the historic floor of a trade, how much volume there is on a trade. Also to see the deviation between each sale within a trade, because you want to find trades that sell consistently for the same price or more. And you cannot actually access this information with any tool right now, but we're going to make that available for our premium subscribers on NFT Handshake. But anyway, let's dive in. So first you go in here, you click on ongoing projects. I like to click on revealed, and that will show me all the collections that I can potentially bid on because everything is available. Second thing I like to do is check volume the last 24 hours and the last 7 days. This gives me a really good indication on what's moving and what I could potentially bid on. So you're going to go in here to first 7 days, descending, click apply. And then you're going to see all the collections, and you can see what's moving right now. Last 7 days, Asuki is the number one, Clonex, and so on. The main thing is here, how much ETH do you have to work with? Let's say you have 5 ETH to work with. You can totally ignore Asuki, Clonex, so on and so on. Obviously, that makes sense, right? Like, how are you going to be bidding on something where the floor is above what you have in Ethereum? So you're going to be looking at something that's listed for below 5 Ethereum. I would say anything from half an ETH, maybe a little bit less, and all the way up to, let's say, 3, 4 ETH, because you're going to be bidding on trades, potentially rare NFTs. So you might be bidding above the floor of the collection. That's the best strategy. Because if you're bidding 1.2, 1.3 on a collection with a floor of 1, many people will see that offer as extremely attractive, a way to get out and lock in profits fast. And so we are looking at collections, and we're looking at trades where your bid will be above the floor and you can still make profit. So it's very similar to rarity bidding, to be honest. But anyway, we're in here. We looked at the 7 day, let's look at the 1 day as well. We can see it changes up a little bit. Interesting that I see cyber brokers moving up so much. It's just smashing through the roof. Doodles is going up so much as well. Yeah, Frenzies as well. I think this is pretty interesting. World Women Galaxy moving really well. So basically, you're going to do your research. If I had 5 ETH, I would be doing research on this one right here. I'd probably be doing research on Galaxy as well. Apache Penguins, this one, three landers as well, Murray for sure as well. So there's a lot you could take, and you would open all those up and you would do all the research that I'm showing you now. I'm not going to go through tons of collections, but let's just pick one that could be potentially great. So let's click on Will Women Galaxy. So this is the view you're going to see right here. And yes, it's totally overwhelming. What are you going to do right here? I will show you step by step what to do. First, we're going to sort the information a little bit. It's a bit pre-sorted because I've already used in the past. I recommend taking off image, name and ID, score, rank, buy, and highest trade floor. So I'm taking that off right now, and I'm only keeping on explore, price, last sale, and trades. So that will give you a little bit less. That will give you what you see right here. Second thing you're going to do, you're going to go under price, and you are going to be listing, last sale and newest first, as we want to see the last ones that were sold, right? So you're going to see them all in the right order right here. And we see it's a high volume collection, it's selling every single minute there's a new sale. Then you're going to click on trades, and now we have all the trades open for this collection. Now it's super simple. We are going to go through every single trade that you see up here, and we're going to check if any trade has consistent sales at way above the floor price that we could bid on around the floor a little bit higher and flip for even a higher price. That's basically the strategy. It's very similar to rarity bidding as well. So you can start all the way out here on this trade called Eyes, and you can simply open it up here. And you can see tons of different trades, and you can see the average sales price out here to the right. Now, this is not set in stone, like it's not a number you can use 100% because there's a lot of outdated information. Like it keeps into account sales that happened 7 days ago, even though that's totally outdated by now because the floor has risen so much since then. But it's a good indication of where it is. And I can already say from experience that anything around the floor price, so let's say under 1.8, is completely irrelevant to look at because the price is just too low and there's no way you can be sure to bid around the floor price and still make profit. Now take that into account. You could be bidding under the floor price and then see a profit if you sell it for whatever 1.6, 1.7. But we don't want to do that because if we're bidding under the floor, we're just working against all those bots that are trying to flip and undercut the floor. And there's just way too many of them. So we're looking at a more high scale, high-end NFTs. And so that's why I'm saying in this particular case, I'm only really going to look at something that's above 1.8, maybe 1.9. So just at a glance right here, I'm seeing Galaxy iRoll 1.95. That looks interesting. So I'm going to toggle it on. I'm going to see all the sales here. It's interesting to me that we can see in the last 2 days, the sales have been decent. There have been 1.7, 1.8, but then there's one here that is quite low, and that's not super good. So just because there's so many trades available, I think I'm just going to skip it, even though I could dive into this one. Is all about choosing the right trades to bid on and not just being desperate to bid on the first trade you see. Ideally, you should go through all the trades, make a list of or short list, and then you should be thinking what to bid on. But most people are going to be too desperate and they're just going to be like, oh, I already found one, let's submit bids. And then they might not profit, and then they're going to get frustrated with that. So let's keep going. Nothing really pops out in this one. I could open more because the sales could have been steady the last day, but I'm not really seeing anything here, so I'm just going to go to the next one. I kind of want to see something around 1.9, 2.1. So let's see if we cannot find that. Again, face accessories, nothing here. I'm going to keep going. Implants, again, also nothing interesting. Facial features. So I'm seeing the first one that just popped straight away at lightning within 2.19. This is super interesting. So let's open that one. Here we can see that the price, there's a lot of volume. First of all, we see the last 24 hours, there are 8 sales just for this specific trade. This is really good because it means it's very liquid. Problem is that we're seeing some low sales as well. We're seeing 1.25, that's under the floor. The problem is with this collection, the floor is moving like crazy right now. Like I started recording this video and did some dry runs first. the floor was 1.49 or something. So it's moving really, really fast. So anything you see that is like 10, 12 hours ago is already outdated. What we can see in the last 15 hours is that it's pretty stable. The floor is 1.6 of that. So I think that this is actually a trade that if it was to be sold right now, it'll probably be sold at 1.8 or 2 even. So how can you figure out if this is an interesting trade? What you do is you use your Explore tab out here and you open up several listings and you're going to check what people are bidding on it right now. Is that will give us an indication, and also what has recently been sold and what has recently been listed. This is really important. So first three we're opening up here. You see there's no bid on this one. There's a bid here on 2. This is very good. This shows me that people value this trade. 1.7 is also great. Okay, let's go in and analyze it a little bit more. So Lightning Within was the trade that we are looking at. So the first thing we're going to do is load a high, and we're going to see what is the cheapest listed, 2.19. This is really excellent. This means that if I'm bidding the floor, I can probably sell it for 2.10 or 2.19 even. So this is a really good indication, first of all. And I'm going to be using a Google Sheet to keep track of all the interesting trades I want to bid on. So if we're going to use this one, facial features, you can literally just copy over here, and you're going to go into the sheet that I made in here. You can just copy this sheet. I'll make it available. And we're going to list the first one. I did a few, but I will explain this one that I'm doing now. So the trade is Lightning Within. We're going to put it there. The collection is World of Women Galaxy. I already have that here, so I'm just going to copy it in. Bid, I'm not sure about yet. The sales price, I know that right now because I can see that it's listed for 2.19, the cheapest right now. So I'm probably going to be listing it for 2.15 or 2.10 to be sure that I can sell it quickly. I know the floor is moving up super fast, so this could literally move at any point even higher. So this is just something to keep in mind. The second thing that we also want to look at is the trade sniper to OpenSea number. This is kind of a metric I came up with on my own because I realized that sometimes in new collections, trade sniper doesn't have all the information on a given trade, while OpenSea has. And since our tool scrapes OpenSea on the back end and finds the exact number of NFTs with that trade, then we got to make sure that we are not basing our bids on limited information within Trade Sniper since it's a new collection. So let me give you an example. There might be a new collection with a trade of 100 tokens that have that specific trade, but only 10 of the tokens have been sold so far. The other ones have just been minted and they haven't been sold yet. And so Trade Sniper is going to show the data from those 10 sales and not for the other 90 tokens that haven't been sold. This means that you could be bidding way too high because there's so many tokens that have not been sold on the secondary market yet. So my rule is if I'm bidding on a trade, I want to make sure that this number 198 is the same number that OpenSea has. So let's see in here, 198 is the same number. Now it's okay if there's 10 or 5 tokens less if it's 100, 200 tokens. But if you saw, for example, 200 in here and only 13 or 20 or 40 in Trade Sniper, that's a big red flag. And you want to avoid that because you just cannot guarantee that you're actually going to be able to sell it for what you want to. And it really leads me into this research I'm doing in OpenSea as well. You want to make sure when you're on OpenSea to click on the trade, click low to high, and make sure that you see what is listed as the lowest listing. This is basically your bread and butter. This is what makes you confident that when you're listing it, you can list it for a lower price and still sell it. The second thing we're going to look at now is recently sold. We just want to make sure in OpenSea that we're not missing anything in here. We can see that one sold for 1.6, 2.2, 1.6, 1.2. But the thing is, this could have been a long time ago and the floor is moving really fast. So it might be okay with it still. So let's check out these 4 listings. You see this one sold 12 hours ago for 1.6. So the floor has moved so much since then. It's moved from 1.2, 1.3 to 1.6 now. So it kind of makes sense it would sell for 1.6. And we can kind of think about, okay, if the floor moved up zero point 0.3, zero point 0.4, this would probably sell for 2 or 2.1 today. And it goes hand in hand with what we're seeing right now in the recent in the listed listings. We can see that it was listed for 2.1 at the moment, the cheapest one, right? So we can just go into low to high with a buy now, and we can see it's 2.19. So yeah, it goes hand in hand. The other one that we saw here sold for 15 hours ago. That's basically the same thing. This one sold for 1.2, but it was 19 hours ago, and the floor was around that 19 hours ago. So that's totally fine. So in conclusion, if we go back into our tool, we can say that the number is the same. We can see that in recently sold, the cheapest one that was sold was 1.6, right? And it was about 15 hours ago. Oh, sorry, it was 1.3, I think. And it was about 16 hours ago. But the thing is, the floor has moved so much since then, so that's okay. I think we can certainly say that the floor of this collection or this trade is definitely 2.19. And if we are bidding the floor of 1.5, 1.6, we could definitely sell it for that, but probably more towards that since the floor is so thin for this trade. So if we go back into our sheet, we can see the lowest listed right now is 2.19. And I like to actually link to the lowest listed because when I'm submitting the bid, this is the lowest listed, right? But then let's say 12 hours, 15 hours go by until I win something. Then I want to go back to that specific listing and see if it's still listed. And then before you list it again, you want to make sure what is it, like you want to go straight back in here and you're going to go look at what is the lowest listed NFT in that specific on that specific trade. And it might as well have been going up to 2.4 or 2.5 at that point. So this is a really good thing to keep in mind. Now, that was just one trade. We did all the research. We're kind of ready to bid on it, but you could do way more. And you just basically flip through everything. We can see here, these two look super interesting. I would probably do the research on them as well. If we go into necklace, we can see there's not much here, so I would skip it. Earrings. Levitating stars could be interesting. Unlocking wisdom could be interesting. These are some specific trades that are moving up as well, and we can see that something was sold very recently for 1.6. So it is something to keep in mind for sure. I would put it on a short list. Background, nothing really here. I would ignore that. Trade count, I'm gonna ignore that for now. I don't really like to bid on trade count. So that's just my opinion. I think that it's better to bid on specific trades. Close seems to be the best one or one of the best ones in the specific collection. I can see that Feeling Festive has a super high average sales price. So this is one I was looking at. Like we see here 14 minutes ago, something sold for 2.4, 3, 3, 2, 3. So this is super interesting. I'll do all the research for this one and I would probably bid on that. I would also probably do gold spacesuit because it's 2.49, and we can also see that the prices are really high. This would be so easy to bid 1.6, 1.7, maybe 1.8 even on these, and sell them for 2.5 or something like that. Just easy money. We can keep going. Nothing really here. Skin tone is super interesting. There's the iridium here is super sought after. This seems to be the top trade almost in this collection. They're selling for so much, and I did actually check out the listings, and there are already bids for like 5 or 6 ETH. So you really have to understand what you're doing here. If the collection starts dipping, then these are the ones that are becoming very liquid and hard to sell. But you can see here the bid is already 6, so it's pretty ridiculous. But anyway, there's a lot of money to be made in these kind of trades if you know what you're doing. I mean, bidding 6 or 6.5 and selling for 8 is a great deal. So that's something to keep in mind. Night Goddess as well, amazing, golden, rainbow bright. So there are 4 trades here I would check out and I would do all the research on. Let's see here if there's something else. Not really much. But still, I think we found like 10 different trades that we could have been doing a research on and be bidding on. So that's really great. And you'd literally just go through all collections like that, and then you're going to be doing a really good job. The thing is, once you've done this once and you know that there are 10 trades that are really interesting, then you know the collection. It's going to be super easy to resubmit your bids, do your research, just make sure you get something over time. I like to take 5 or 10 collections that I become really skilled in, and I just know the trades that are selling really well consistently. So this is what you're going to do. And I recommend using the sheet in here to do your research, make sure that, first time that this, and this is listed, and make sure that you don't get caught out with a difference here or anything like that. So if I was to submit the bids again, I would just go into Galaxy, Women, and I would find the trade that I want to bid on. For example, we looked at the Feeling Festive trade. That was really nice. I just found it right there. I set my lowest potential bid and my highest bid, what I want to outbid by, expiration time, wallet, and then click Save and Back, and it's going to bid on every single thing. The only thing that I would recommend is, let's say we want to bid on Feeling Festive and we've done all our research and everything looks great, then do go back into the collection and just check out. Let's go back and see if we can find it again. There we go. Do go in and check the highest bid on the listing right now. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. If you're bidding consistently lower than everyone else, then you're not going to win anything, right? So I'm opening 7-10 listings and I'm seeing what are people bidding. So 1.5, this guy probably wanted to bid the floor, but it's moving so fast. So I'm going to take a mental note of 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 2.5 is probably a super rare one, so just ignore an outlier like that. So this is super low. This is also 1.3, 1.6. So in total here, this is another one. I would probably bid 1.7, 1.75. Also, with how the collection is moving so fast, I'm pretty sure I can sell this one for 2.5. And obviously, I didn't do all the research because we did way back, but you're just going through list. You can see 2.4. I can list this right now at 2.3 or 2.4, and it will sell so fast. So guys, trade bidding, this is where the money is at. I do recommend this over even rarity bidding. The reason why I really like that is we're basing it on what actually sold and what is actually listed. And I think what has actually sold is a very good indication on what you can sell it for. So guys, try it out. If you need anything else, let me know. The sheet will be on our Discord. And obviously, if you want to bid on all of this stuff, NFT Handshake, just make a ticket on our Discord and you will have access to the tool where you can submit your bids. You can do all this manually. Just going to take a ton of time, but anyway, you'll have the research tools to do it now. So anyway, thank you, and hope you enjoyed this one.